An interesting program that's being launched by by the Victorian government, which is reinstating funding for that program that was introduced during the pandemic to provide shelter for people sleeping rough. You might remember the From Homelessness to a Home program. It was going to be cut back, of course, once we got to the end of lockdown and the like, and also due to budget constraints. But it's going to be refunded. Jenny Smith is Counsel to the Homeless Persons CEO, who advocated for the funding to be reinstated. Jenny, good morning.
Morning, Virginia.
I don't know where the Housing Minister Richard Wynne has found this extra $23 million.
Well, it is grand news for the rough sleepers who are housed in hotels during the lockdowns and through the Homeless Home program were offered a pathway out of that hotel and into a forever home and the support that they need to keep it. And we had anticipated that program would be ongoing, and it was very out of character, I thought, for this Victorian government that's done so much in increasing social housing in the state and in that sort of program, responding to homelessness, to have cut that funding unexpectedly from our point of view, and to see that continued and to see that safe and supported destination for people who, statistically would fall out of that social housing within 2 years without that support is fantastic.
So this will be funded for another 12 months. Is 12 months enough?
Oh no, I think we've got the work before us now to continue to convince the government that this is an ongoing program that must be continued for the people who are currently in it and extended to make it available to more of the 9,000 rough sleepers who come to our services every year. And it is the year to do it because with the new federal government having a commitment to 20,000 social housing properties over 5 years, and also the year when the partnership between the federal and state governments about housing and homelessness is renegotiated, we really have the opportunity to get things back on track.
So 12 months funding, and as you say, you'll have the work before you, if and when that terminates as well in a year's time. Is this going to be a similar program where the first stop will be a hotel and then the next stop will be a permanent home?
Oh, well, we're really struggling out there in terms of emergency accommodation, and, we have had a threefold increase in after-hours demand, and half the calls for homeless help are going unanswered. So the answer, though, is, while we have to make crisis responses, and we all do the best we can with that, and there are never enough resources, without a pipeline of social housing that people on our lowest incomes can afford, and that ongoing support for people with significant complexity in their lives, mental illness, acquired brain injury, people who need support to just manage to keep that housing, then we're in very serious trouble as cost of living goes up and rentals continue to increase disproportionately.
So, of course, we know about the big build, but I think that's been really slowed down and hit by the same pressures that every other aspect of the construction industry has right now, Jenny Smith, so that might not help. But how many people do you anticipate that 12 months of $23 million will help?
Well, the program was for 1,845 of those households that were in hotels, and there aren't 1,845 households still there. It might be closer to 1,750. We don't know at the moment. But the commitment is to those people. But we would like to see that program sustained for a defined number of people. So as people drop out of the program, as some people unfortunately pass on, that some of the additional people who are rough sleeping in our community can have access to this evidence-based program that has been shown to work both in this country and internationally.
Jenny Smith, good to talk to you, and it is good news to hear about a problem that's just absolutely intransigent. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks for your support, Virginia.
Jenny Smith, Counsel to Homeless Persons CEO, who advocated for the funding to be reinstated.